because again, in 5 years, if he decides I no longer want to be a cinematographer, but I want to start painting, please don't, but Well, I am Tiffany Laibhen-Spence. I am a lifestyle influencer, focused on fashion, family, and just talking to women, giving them motivational tips on living their best life.
My name is Kevin Spence, and I'm a photographer, cinematographer. Yeah, so Tiffany and I met in college. We're both graduates of Delaware State University. And at that time, I was running track, and Tiffany was trying to get her financial affairs in order. As anyone who goes to HBCUs knows, those lines can be long and treacherous. But she was having a little bit of a rough day that day, and I walked up on her being super jolly while she was in a not so great mood. So I could tell that she was extremely annoyed.
I was annoyed,
very annoyed. But I was pretty persistent. But I also tried to help. I was helpful.
To jump in, I got a call from my mom to tell me that I was about to get kicked out of school because we owed money. And I was in my bed. So I walked to the financial aid office in sweatpants. I felt like I looked like a bum. And I wanted no one to look at me. And this guy was there with a big smile on his face, trying to be friendly and talk to everybody. And I just was not having it. But that was our first meeting.
Our engagement happened. Tiffany and I had been at that point dating for 8 years. And for some people that's a long time, but we were fresh out of school trying to figure ourselves out, and I think we both understood what the commitment of marriage would be, especially for me as a young man who didn't really experience a marital household. For me, it was, I had these kind of expectations that I had for myself before, putting myself in a position to be married. I was again still trying to figure out my way, figure out what my calling was. And I didn't want to be working a minuscule job that I didn't enjoy and doing all these things that probably would have hindered my commitment.
And in those 8 years, both of us were finding our way and really trying to solidify what we wanted to do in our careers. And, not to say that wasn't the first thing on our mind, but I think the first thing on our mind was trying to make sure that we as two individuals were good, before we really went into that union. We wanted to go in as happy individually, two happy individuals, and then go in as healthy as we could into a marriage. I have a manager in an agency that I work with. I have a makeup artist, I have a photographer, and I have set shoot days every single week. And then I have like an admin day where I do emails and responding to signing contracts, responding to different companies. So it's a lot.
Being a cinematographer or DP, whereas my role is to help establish visual creativity, look and feel of content. My work doesn't start when I step on set. My work starts before I get on set. And oftentimes my job requires me to travel a lot. Everything isn't shot, where we live, here in Philadelphia, depending on what company I'm working for. If it's a documentary, sometimes a documentary can be over the course of, 3 months to a year, and, it'll require me to travel from different states and be there for periods of time. And it can be a long process. I can be away from my family for a while. And it's a role that I absolutely love. And it's something that I have to now also consider the jobs that I take now that I have a child. I can get a text message a couple days before a shoot and be like, hey, we need to shoot next week on these dates. And then, Tiffany and I have to sit down and kind of like look, the give and take of our careers and making sometimes some sacrifices on what we can and can't do. Yeah. And that sacrifice really isn't about the job, but it's about Ever. It's about our child. So like we figure out where things work, where things don't work, and I can make my assessments as well based on those opportunities. It at least allows us to create a conducive schedule so that we can both pour into our careers, pour into each other. and parenthood equally as best as we can.
I think when we speak to like those years that went into us like working on ourselves, one major thing that we said to each other was that we were going to support each other 100% in getting where we want to be in our careers and to express ourselves creatively. That's a huge part of our foundation, you know. So like when Kev comes to me and says like, this project looks like I'm gonna have to be gone for a week or 2 weeks or something, it's not an automatic no at all for us. It's like, okay, so how do we work this out?
Like, we weren't at that place when we got married. You know, we had to make some sacrifices. We had to put out money we didn't have. Our wedding was a blessing because it we still had family stepped in and helped, and we were able to still have an experience that, you know, could have been disastrous.
Right.
There was turmoil in Mexico. There was like a strike with the taxi foundation, I guess, like all the drivers. So they were like striking on doing no driving. So evidently our officiant was in a part of Mexico where the strike was happening, and he had no ride, no way to get to Riviera Maya, to where our wedding was. So fortunately,
my godfather
was at our wedding.
He is a minister,
licensed minister,
right? And my mom had to go ask him to get up out of his seat. They were literally waiting for us to walk down the aisle. Yes. Had to ask him to get up. He said that something told him before he left his room to put his wedding book in the back of his pocket.
Crazy.
So he had it with him, and he got up there and he performed our wedding. The biggest piece of advice that we would give other millennial couples, and any couples, whether it be older than us or younger than us, don't get caught up in the social media ways of relationships. I say that because every person, every couple have their different ways of doing things. Every person has come from a different background. Everyone's healing through different things. And so make your own story, make your own rules, have your own idea of what your relationship looks like. You know, me and Kev do not have a traditional relationship at all. We don't really have traditional roles in our home. If I need to step up and take the trash out and walk the dog and do the things because he is busy, then that's what happens. If he needs to step up and cook and do whatever, like, we don't have traditional roles in our home.
I think it would just based on how active, you know, if I'm gone for 4 or 5 days, you can't have traditional roles, right? You know, so like we don't work 9 to 5 and come home at 5 o'clock and be a family, so, you know, every day, you know, so we've had to examine what the reality of our lives as individuals look like, how they work as a partnership, and how we can continue to find a way that works for both of us in order for us to be successful and happy. And sometimes you just gotta put those egos down, you gotta put that pride down. So, you know, again, having a non-traditional outlook on our marriage so that we both feel that there's balance has been, would be my advice to millennials, especially millennial creatives, especially if you have a partner who doesn't work a traditional 9 to 5 as well, and you're both creatives. You have to find a balance that's not geared on the societal norm.
Because again, in 5 years, if he decides I no longer want to be a cinematographer, but I want to start painting, please don't. But if that's what he decides to do, guess what? I'm gonna have to step up, and I'm gonna have to figure out how we gonna get him into painting school, because that's just how our relationship works. Like, we have that open mindset, and we leave each other room to grow. He always knows that he can pivot at any point, and I got his back, and vice versa.